Bounce Icon here, talking a little post-crisis. We got Supergirl and Batwoman first to come out the gate, and things got a little interesting. Actually, they did something on both shows that I didn't think they would do, and I have to say that I'm happy about it. So let's get right into it, and let's start things off with discussing a little Supergirl. So, for Supergirl, we are back in the fold in post-crisis. And like I said before, this was out of all the superhero shows, like Supergirl and Black Lightning were the two I was looking forward to the most to see where the events take place post-crisis. So it starts off with a commercial of the DEO, and which is apparently public now and everybody knows about it, with Lena, Lex Luthor, and Supergirl talking about, we're here to save the world and create a better tomorrow. And then when Supergirl sees the commercial, she's just like, I want to die. Because before she woke up in the new world, herself, before she got her memories back, worked with Lex Luthor. They were all buddy, and everybody was cheery, and she's completely disgusted. Her and Alex have a conversation. They're just like, like the world, like everybody, like everybody got their memories back, and we're the only ones that know, so we got to keep an eye on them. And then Kara was just like, it's a shame that John can't bring back everyone's memory. So people will know and remember what a horrible person Lex is. And then Alex was like, yeah, but John said if he brought back an entire world's memories, the relationship damage could, literally like destroy everyone's brain. Which is true, because there are multiple Earths now that have been combined into one. So people who had relationships with people before, those relationships wouldn't be the same, and certain things would be different, because again, like National City, the DEO and everything didn't even exist. It didn't exist before, so the president would even be like, what the hell is the DEO if she got her memory back? So that's why they can't bring everyone's memory back. So at that point, Kara was, even Alex was just like, I can't believe I work for Lex Luthor. John was like, look, you gotta do what you gotta do. If anything, just keep an eye on him. So this way, once he, does what he does, because we all know Lex is going to do some bad shit eventually. He's like, at least you're there to watch him. And Lex even said that, like, he had brought Kara and Alex into his office in the DEO, and he was just like, look, he was just like, like, I know how you guys feel. It's like, I know you don't like me, I know you hate me, but he was like, but still, he's like, I'm trying to bring peace to the world. He was like, let's work together. And he was like, this way I can keep an eye on the two of you guys can keep an eye on me, and we can still make the world a better place. He ended up going to Lena's house, and he woke Lena up. And when Lena woke up, Lena had all of her memories. Like she remembered that she tried to kill him, and she was just like, wait, you're dead. And he was like, oh, so you do remember? Because come to find out, John did not bring Lena's memories back. Lex did that it was basically like a deal he made with the Monitor. Whereas if he, I guess like if he agreed to help save the multiverse, he was just like, when the new world's created, make sure Lena still remembers everything. So he gave Lena that reprieve, so it's like she remembers everything. And then he was just like, look, he was like, you're my sister, you killed me, I forgive you, I want you to work with me, let's work together. And she was like, no, Lex, I can't trust you. And then he was like, well, think about it and let me know. So then Supergirl shows up, because she was just like, look, I'm going to tell Lena everything that happened. Although Lena doesn't have her memory, she's like, I'm going to tell Lena everything that happened. Supergirl shows up, Lena's like, bitch, I already know everything that happened. And then she was like, you thought you were just going to come in here and apologize, and I was just going to fall into your arms and we'll be friends again. And then, and then Kara was like, listen, like, I want you to work with me. And then she was like, Lex told me the same bullshit. And then she was just like, work with me, whatever. Let's partner up and really save the world. She was like, don't fall for Lex's baloney. And then Lena was like, I'll think about it, and and that was it. Then she goes to her mom. Like, Lena went to go talk to her mom, and her mom was like, look, if you partner with Lex, at least he's gonna betray you. It's like, Lex ain't shit, so like, you won't get emotionally involved in whatever foolishness he's trying to do, and Lex will help you, because Lena's still on that trip where she's trying to do like the brain thing where she's trying to like control everyone's brain so they don't hurt each other. So she was just like, if you do that, then you'll get she was like, Lex will help you with that. And then but then she was like, if you trust Supergirl, she was like, eventually Supergirl is gonna lie to you, then you're gonna get she's like, you're gonna get emotionally invested, then you're gonna get mad again, and then it's gonna turn into this whole big thing. So she was like, you might as well just partner with your brother. So now the actual point of the episode, multiple Brainiacs showed up from parallel dimensions. Brainy and Nia were on a date, and then they bumped into another Brainiac, and then like a few other Brainiacs showed up. One was a female Brainiac, and then since she was the only one that wasn't a doppelganger, I was like, oh, an attractive female Brainiac, she's gonna have a big role like to play in all this. We basically find out that the Brainiacs were all there from different dimensions, and they were surprised that the multiverse was destroyed. And I guess they don't know that it hasn't been destroyed yet, because, again, at the end of Crisis, Oliver showed us the new multiverse. We saw Earth 2 that had Stargirl on it. We saw Earth 9 back with Titans. Swamp Thing was Earth 21. Doom Patrol was Earth 19, or vice versa. So the multiverse is still around. Earth Prime just doesn't know that yet. And it's like, but everybody assumes that there's only one Earth, there's just Earth Prime, and, they don't even know where these doppelgangers came from. But when all of them find out that, like, then Brainy, he looked it up, he was like, yeah, like, the multiverse is destroyed, and they were all like, oh gosh, we're the only ones left. And, they were losing their shit, over it. Come to find out, one of them, and it wasn't even just them, because there was a group of people that survived through a wormhole that ended up on Earth Prime. Like, they escaped the destruction, the antimatter wave of their world, and they ended up on Earth Prime. And they all showed up at the alien bar. And there were, like, doppelgangers everywhere. The three old ladies, well, not old ladies, because one of them was actually young and hot. The three women that helped bring rain to the world, they were there, but they were from another universe, and they were basically like palm readers. Like they were like double double bartenders and everything. So there were the Brainiacs. The Brainiacs tried to save their world when the antimatter hit, and them trying to save their world some of those people ended up going through a wormhole and ended up on Earth Prime. So they did manage to save a few people. The one of the Brainiacs in particular, he actually shrunk his Earth before the antimatter wave hit, and he bottled his Earth he put his Earth in a bottle. And he was now that there's an Earth Prime, and him and his world in the bottle exists on Earth Prime, he was going to open the bottle so his Earth can come out, and actually exist again. And everybody was like, don't do that, because if you do that, your Earth will blow up this one, because you can't open an Earth inside of another Earth. You'll blow up the current Earth. And then they were like, you might blow up your Earth as well. But, he was just like, no, I must do this. Because he even said at one point, he was like, why should your Earth be the only Earth that exists? He's going to feel stupid when he finds out they're actually still a multiverse. So they set off to stop him. And Brainy, he got into a conversation with the female Brainiac 5, because she was like, first of all, you're not... She's like, how are you the Prime? She's like, one, you're not even green. And I'm just like... Yeah, I know Brainiac is supposed to be green, but I never took him being blue as a big deal. I was like, well, that's just the makeup or whatever. But come to find out, like, those three things on his head, which make the Brainiac simple. He said that his dad put those on his head to wash away the hard, logical, computeristic emotions. Like those things actually give him, like, humanity. They give him emotions. Like, they give him compassion. He said that his mom, tried to bottle snow for him, bottled a world that had snow for him, and his dad, built that device so he wouldn't be so cold like his mom was. And now I'm just like, all right, so like Brainiac, like actual like Brainiac, Superman Brainiac, he's like the prime of like all these Brainiacs. He found out a way to organically computerize himself to produce children, and they produce children, and so on and so on and so on. So I'm just like, was your mom a descendant of the original Brainiac? And then I'm like, where is the original Brainiac? Because remember, Brainiac 5s are from the future. They're not from present time. They're all from the future. Like, even our Brainiac, he's from the Legion in the future. So this is really a future problem that's that's actually come to the present. So they find out, they end up Nia, she's the one who finds out that one of those Brainiacs is trying to open the bottle. Brainy and Supergirl, they go to stop them because he got the three chicks. He got the three rain chicks to use their magic to try to open the bottle. Brainy's whole thing was because like the female Brainiac, she told him, she was like, why are you different? And then he was like, because I got the three emotional inhibitors. It's like it suppresses his logic genes. And then she was just like, oh, no wonder why you're not as good as the rest of us. But he told Supergirl, he was like, listen, I don't want to take them off, because if I take them off, I don't know what type of person I'll become, but she was, but Nia was like, don't worry about it. She's like, I love you anyway. Supergirl was like, don't worry about it. So he's like, all right, fine. He took him off. He turned green. So I was like, okay, so I guess the green was really a thing. He turned green again. He was still himself. He was a little bit more like stern and, but he was still himself. He still had like the emotional tie. He used his power, to stop the witches. He appealed to his doppelganger's good nature, and he was just like, look, he was like, let us help you. We'll come up with a way to find a place where we can open the bottle, and your world can exist, and other people don't have to die. So they talked him down. He went into the bottle back on his Earth. The three old chicks they went back into the bottle too. They closed the bottle. They kept it at the Fortress of Solitude, and they're gonna find a place to open that Brainiac's world. So the other doppelganger Brainiacs, they were just like, look, we don't have worlds anymore, and it's just better for us to go into what they call the big brain. I guess it's like their version of heaven. So I guess like what that is, like if the actual Brainiac, if he produced them and turn them into organic beings, I guess them returning to the big brain is them going back into Brainiac's consciousness, but instead they attach themselves to Brainy, who probably has a connection to the actual Brainiac. So, our Brainy had his device here, one doppelganger put his here, and then the girl put hers here, which created the Brainiac symbol. And I'm just like, if we don't get Brainiac on this show at some point, because you guys are teasing the F out of it, that's going to be very disappointing. But maybe we'll get him on the Superman show. And I still feel that Eve Tessmacher, since she is part robot, since she's Hope the robot, I feel like Eve Tessmacher will become a female Brainiac, as well. Or actual Brainiac will take over Hope's body. And that was pretty much it. In the end, Lena ended up choosing Lex to partner with, so she has her family back. She has her mom and she has her brother back. But she knows she can't trust them, and it's like, like a love-hate relationship. Supergirl was a little disappointed. She was talking to Homeboy, who, in the first half of the season, he said that he joined Catco to stop Andrea, to expose Andrea because because Andrea was dating his best friend and his best friend got killed. But now he was like, yeah, I joined Catco so I can get closer to Lena Luthor and find out what the Luthors were up to. So his objective changed because of the multiverse. And Kara was just like, all right, cool, we'll work together. And she's like, we're gonna take down Lex because Lena's not a bad person. Come to find out she is, because she's still trying to control everyone's mind, and she's working with Lex in order to do that. But Kara don't know that yet. So in the end, the female Brainiac, she told him, she was like, listen, throughout the entire episode, she was basically following Lex Luthor because Luthor was trying to look up Leviathan. Because earlier, Lena had mentioned Leviathan to Lex, and Lex was like, who the F is Leviathan? So he had no idea who Leviathan was. Lena told him all about Leviathan, and Lex was trying to like figure them out because he was like, yo, these people are a danger to humanity, aka a danger to Luthor Corp. The female Brainiac told our Brainy, she was like, yeah, on my Earth I was fighting Leviathan, and she was like, and the biggest mistake that I made in fighting Leviathan was I fought against Lex Luthor. She was like, if you want to stop Leviathan, which is the biggest threat to your world, you have to work with Lex Luthor. And you can't tell your friends, you can't tell anybody that you know or love, because they're just going to try to stop you because no one trusts him, rightfully so. But she was like, but you gotta work with him in order for everybody to survive. So he ended up, so because of that, he broke up with Nia. And I don't know if he's still going to work at the DEO, but I guess he is, because he was at the DEO when he spoke to Lex. So he went to Lex and he was just like, listen, he was like, my friends are going to try to stop you, but he was like, I know better. He was like, I'm going to help you take down Leviathan. And then Lex was like, but we have no info on Leviathan. And then he was, but then Lex was like, but Lex said that there was one person that came through the wormhole that will have knowledge of the future. So, because he was like, in order for us to fight Leviathan, we need future knowledge. And he was like, there's somebody that came through the wormhole that has this future knowledge. And I need you to find this person so we can interrogate them to know what we need to know. He showed him a picture of the person who came through the wormhole, and it was Win. He called him a doppelganger, so I guess that's Win's doppelganger from a different Earth, because remember, Win went into the future to help the Legion of superheroes, create the technology that will, purify the earth to stop machines and everything from being destroyed. So Winn, I assume our Winn is still in the future. So this is Winn's doppelganger. I guess he's the doppelganger from the female Brainiac's Earth. So, and it's cool because Winn left the show like 2 years ago. So he's coming back, and now that he's coming back, he'll I guess he'll be he'll be in the mix up. Who knows if he'll stay or not? But he is we are coming up on the 100th episode of Supergirl. I think it's episode 30 because we just did episode 10. I think the 100th episode is like 12 or 13. So when we do the 100th episode, so I guess like Winn came back in time to do the 100th episode. And if we're talking about Winn's doppelganger, on the 100th episode, the actual Winn will probably come back to the present time, and then there'll be a nice little interaction. James will be back, hopefully, and then we'll have a good old time. No, but that was it. That was pretty cool. So. Like I said, we're touching on post-crisis. There were no mention of the other heroes, which is fine because, again, each hero has something going on in their own city, and there's no reason to call for Justice League backup. Now maybe in the season finale when we have to fight Leviathan, you could call for backup, when you actually fight Leviathan. But there's because the problem now is everybody's like, oh, where are all the heroes? And I'm like, it ain't time for that. Like let them do their individual thing. Let them come together, when need be. We all know they're here, so let's just slow play this and then see where it goes. So for Batwoman, the episode started with Kate out there saving some lives, like a train. There was a runaway train. Kate came in. She was talking to Luke. Luke was basically trying to give her the info. We found out that Kate's birthday, was in 2 days, and Luke didn't know. She stopped the train from crashing, and she saved a bunch of kids. They did a little investigation, just to find out that someone had remotely hacked the train and was taking over it by computer. They also said that, hey, listen, if I can take over a train, I can out, the dirty secrets and the dirty laundry of pretty much everybody in the city, and I'll out everybody's, and everybody's secrets will be out if unless you pay me ransom money, so like $5 million worth of like ransom money. So this person who caused the train, who took over the train, basically like they're threatening the entire city. The woman that does the gossip show, like the gossip radio show, she actually dropped an Oliver Queen reference. She was just like, like the city's still in mourning, overhearing about the death of Oliver Queen. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So we got we got an arrow shout out because remember everybody's on the same Earth now. After Kate saved the train, she had put 2 cables on either side to hold the train in place. One of the cables ended up snapping and it almost hit her, and a police officer saved her. Now this police officer, he's supposed to be like handsome, heartthrob or whatever. Everybody was calling him Captain America, which was funny because again in the DC universe, Marvel exists in comic books, so it's like Marvel's like fantasy and what they do is like reality. So they were calling him like Captain Marvel. He saved Batwoman from getting hit with the cable. Everybody took the picture and people were just like, oh, is Batwoman dating this cop? And it turned into like this whole social media thing. Kate wasn't happy about it because like 1, she's gay, and 2, she was just like, that's not who I am, and that's how I'm being portrayed, and then Luke was like, well, that's okay, because she was just like, I'm gay, and people think that Batwoman is straight, and then Luke was like, well, yeah, that's a good thing, because if people think Batwoman's straight, no one's going to think that you're Batwoman, and those clues, like people will never think about it, because the thing is, like, if people know that Batwoman's a lesbian, then they're going to start going after, like, okay, who are the rich lesbians in the city, and then her name could come up, so it's just like, he was just like, yo, let it rock. He was like, you're helping people. That's all that matters. Her dad's still in prison. Jacob Kane. Yeah, I finally got his name right. Jacob Kane's still in prison. Because again, when we left in the mid-season finale, Alice had locked him up. Alice was sitting on Catherine's grave, like basically defacing it. She was spitting on it, pouring coffee on it, and then Mouse was just like, look, it can just be me and you, like, stop trying to bring Kate into the fold. And then she's like, but Kate's my sister, and I'll do what I want to do, and blah, blah, blah. So he was just like, it's a bad idea. So, so anyway, so Kate's like, she's out there, she's trying to figure out, like, who this person is, who's terrorizing the city via the internet. Her and Luke ends up, Luke wanted to shut the whole operation down because he was like, if this person can hack everything, it's only a matter of time before they hack us, and I ain't trying to let that happen. So Luke shut everything down. Kate had to go in the field by herself, which she didn't like, and then Luke ended up finding out that the person that was that was threatening the city was a girl. And not only was it a girl, but it was like a teenager. Like a young kid. And Kane had recognized some of the sounds in the background, and she was like, "Oh, that's Gotham Prep High School." So Kate goes down to Gotham Prep High School. She busts in on all the kids. All the kids start taking her picture, and post it on social media that, "Oh, Batwoman just crashed our dance party." And when when she did that, Alice had got word, that Kate was at the high school. So Alice goes to the high school to roll up on Kate. Now, before all this happened, let's just go down a character list. Luke, there was a moment where Luke was talking to Kate, and Kate was basically telling him, she was just like, I feel like a fraud because I'm wearing this mask and it's not really who I am. And he's like, well, duh, that's what the mask is for. And then she was like, I'm supposed to be the paragon of courage. And he was like, yeah, the whole crisis thing where the alien told you were a paragon. He was like, it sucks, I must have missed that. And I thought that Kate was going to reference the abs thing with Luke, but the abs never got brought up, which was funny. But he did bring up the whole crisis thing. So I was just like, all right, like thank you, just reference this stuff, that. That's the only thing that I care about, let's just not act like none of this happened. Bring it up, reference it. So he made a reference to that, and then Mary's going crazy because she's trying to basically, she's Mary knows that Mouse, False Face, whatever, she knows that he exists. And she knows that he can turn his face into anybody that he wants. She's trying to get somebody to, she's trying to get a doctor to prove that this can actually happen, so she can try to get, Jacob out of prison, because her mom's dead. So, Jacob and Kate are really the only family she has left. And she shut down the clinic, and she's just, searching, trying to get evidence to try to, take Alice down. She's still mad at Kate, because she's just like, oh, your sister killed my mom. And, Kate tried to reach out, but Mary wasn't trying to hear it. Sophie, she's still, in a tailspin over, her marital situation. She's still confused. And because she's angry and confused, she's taking that out on, the criminals of Gotham. When they were trying to find out who the train person was, she rolled up on this one guy, was pistol whipping him, put the gun to his forehead, and was like, I'll kill you. And I was like, well, damn. What Sophie is this? I was like, did Sophie get changed in the crisis? But she's just upset. She's just upset over, her whole marital situation. And then even Kate, Batwoman rolled up on her, and she was like, if you need to talk, just let me know. And then Sophie actually told her, she was just like, yeah, my marriage is in shambles and I don't know what I'm gonna do. So everybody feeling it. Everybody's going through something, and everybody's pretty much feeling it. So we're back at the school. Kate finds the kid, who was pulling the prank. She rolls up on her in the bathroom. They're having a one-on-one conversation. The girl is basically, she's just the girl is a lesbian. She was dating another girl, and her girlfriend said, listen, you need to tell your parents that you're gay, because she was like, this is 2020, it's time to come out of the closet and stop hiding who you are. The girl was like, look, she's like, not everybody can just come out like that. And she was like, I'm not ready to do that, because she knew her parents wouldn't take it well. And then the girlfriend ended up telling her parents for her, and she outed her. She didn't get a chance to tell her parents on her own. Her parents overreacted, and then she's like, now my parents pray every night, because they think something's wrong with me. And the girl basically wanted to kill herself. She pulled that prank, and she told the city that she would out the entire city as a way to get money so she could leave Gotham, because she was going to run away from home. And then she got mad at Batwoman. She was just like, oh, you're Batwoman, you're popular, you're dating that police officer, everybody likes you. She's like, nobody likes me. And she's like, don't tell me it'll get better, because, that's a load of shit. And then, she got mad and walked away. And it's like, oh, Kate's going through the same thing, so, and then when the girl went into the hallway, Alice rolled up on her, kidnapped her, tied her up somewhere. Kate showed up. She was like, let the girl go. And she was like, I'm not going to let the girl go until you remove the mask. Because Beth's whole thing was, she was like, the Batwoman thing is a fraud. So she was just like, look, just tell everybody who you are. Let's get this charade over with. Because Alice is Alice's whole thing is once the city turns on her, she'll be the only one left. And then Kate will have no choice but to be Alice's sister again. And then she told the lesbian girl, she was just like, look, since you're the hacker, use your phone to send out a message to out Kate as Batwoman. Alice basically told Kate that, take the mask off, and, the kid was standing right there. she didn't want to do it, but she was just like, but then Alice was like, there's a bomb that's in the school, and I'll blow up all these kids if you don't, because the girl didn't care, because the girl was trying to kill herself anyway, like, she's given up on life, because, like, she was outed or whatever, and, she told her, she was just like, look, she was just like, I'm not going to out Batwoman, and then she was just like, you need me to do what you need to do. So she's like, obviously you're not going to kill me, because if you're asking me to do, it's like if you say to me, I need you to do this for me, but if you don't do it, I'm going to kill you. Obviously you're not going to kill me because you need me to do the thing that you need me to do. But then Alice was like, yes, but then we both lose because I don't get what I want and you're dead. But I'm like, the girl don't care, because the girl trying to kill herself anyway. So, but Kate was like, I'm not going to let an innocent youth die. So Kate took the mask off, and when she took the mask off, the girl was shocked, because she was like, oh shit, like, you're Kate Kane. She literally said, she was like, I drive past your real estate company like every single day, and she like Googles her under richest people and the richest like lesbians in Gotham or whatever, and then she was just like, I can't believe you're Batwoman, and then she was like, yeah, I'm Batwoman. So Alice was just like, yeah. So she was like, tell the world that Kate Kane's Batwoman, and instead the girl was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. But instead she sent a message to like the entire world that Alice was at the school. So Sophie and the gang, they rolled up on them. They arrested Alice. The girl's safe. And then Alice even said to Kate, she was just like, oh, she was just like, be my sister. And then she was like, you're not my sister, Beth. And then she was just like, we're done. And Beth, I felt bad for Beth, because Beth looked like, because all Beth wanted was her sister back, and Beth looked like she was ready to cry. Like, she actually looked like she was ready to cry. So, so they said, so they scooped her up. She's now in police custody, and presumably the world is safe. That same cop that they were calling Captain America, Kate ended up saving him, because Mouse was the one that was controlling the detonator to the bomb. And when Mouse made the bomb go off, like, that cop was in the vicinity of, like, the blast. Kate, Batwoman jumped in his way to shield him from the blast. And then the paparazzi and, like, the news people showed up, and because everybody thinks the two of them are a couple. And then they were like, oh, you guys should kiss. And then Batwoman was like, nah, we're not doing that. And then Batwoman told the press that she's a lesbian. So now, like, the entire city knows that Batwoman is gay. And then, like, the radio host woman, she was just like, oh, like, do we want politics in our superheroes? I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with politics. I'm like, she's gay, so what? Like they said on Black Lightning. Like that old dude said on Black Lightning in season 1, he was like, if your life's on the line and somebody saves you, you don't care if they black, white, straight, gay, or alien. As long as they saved your life, that's all you care about. So yeah, so that's it. So that's it. So then, like, the girl ended up going to Kate actually invited the girl to Wayne Tower, and then she told her, she was like, look, you're going to do community service and to pay back for what you did with the train situation. But she was like, look, she was like, I can relate to you. And she was just like, if you got any questions, or if you ever want to talk to somebody, she was like, I'll be here, just come holler at me. And I'm just like, is she going to unofficially get a sidekick? Which would be kind of cool, because, I mean, there are some DC characters that she could be. I mean, I just, like, I watched Young Justice Season 3. I mean, well, she can't be Arrowette, she can't be 13, because she's supposed to have metahuman powers, but she could be Spoiler. Like, they could come up with a young DC character to turn this girl into, so she can be Kate's sidekick. Because I actually do think Kate needs a sidekick, because, like, I like having Luke, but I mean, I love Luke, like Luke's my man, 50 grand and all, but Kate doesn't exactly, like, for instance, when Alice had the buzzsaw to the girl's face, Kate just showed up, and then Alice was like, take your mask off, or else. I'm like, first of all, Bruce would have disarmed her from the buzzsaw, so that way he wouldn't have had to have taken his mask off. And I'm just like, Kate's good, but she definitely needs some backup. So if they find a DC hero character to turn this girl, this high school girl into, I'm all for that, and I actually hope it does happen. Yeah, so that was it. Like, Luke got her a cupcake for her birthday. Everybody knows that Batwoman gay. She made up with Mary, like, her and Mary, like, embraced. Commander Kane's still in prison. Sophie's still trying to figure it out. Oh, Sophie said during the episode, she said that when she was talking to Mary, she told Mary that she has a cousin. She has a doctor, like, cousin from Metropolis that could help. And I'm like, Kelly from Supergirl, James' sister, she used to live in Metropolis. I'm like, let me find out Sophie is related to the Olsen family. That would be cool. And then they could all go to Freeland and hang out with Black Lightning. Yeah, and then now here's the thing, because as we saw in Supergirl, Supergirl had this whole doppelganger thing where like doppelgangers were like escaping through wormholes when their Earths were being destroyed, and a lot of them ended up on Earth Prime. At the end of the episode, Kate goes into her office, and Alice is there throwing her a birthday party, but she has brown hair. She doesn't have blonde hair. And then she's just like, yeah, I just came from... She was like, they turned my old college into, like, you know, an apartment building. And then Kate's like, who is this bitch? And then she was like, I'm Alice, stupid. But she was talking normal, because our Alice is in police custody, and now we got this other... And then Kate actually tried to pull her skin off to see if it was Mouse, and it's like, it's not Mouse. Like that's Alice. Like, that is a version of Alice. And then as soon as I was like, no, that's really like Alice, because at first I thought Mouse was the one in police custody, but then again I was like, when would they have made that? Well, I don't know. I mean, my original thought was like, was Mouse the one in police custody, and did Kate actually get away? Because even Mary said she thought she saw Alice going into the college. And I mean, I guess she did see Alice, but this is this doppelganger Alice that she probably saw instead. Yeah, so then, like I said, but the girl got brown hair, and she's just like, oh, you're my sister, and she gave Kate a hug, and then there's another Alice here. But again, Supergirl had these refugee doppelgangers, and I think what's going to happen post-crisis now, the ripple effect of, like, the doppelgangers, like, they're spilling into Earth Prime. So for the second half of everyone's season, they're probably going to be trying to get these doppelgangers back to their own Earths, you know, where they come from, which means like Laurel from Arrow, you know, can still be around for that reason as well. And that's actually kind of cool, because even on Black Lightning, maybe we'll get Jin, you know, like somebody, like other characters from Black Lightning that have to spill over too. So I'm really interested. Like if they're doing the doppelganger thing for all the shows, I'm actually really into that. I'll definitely be into that. But like I said, good episode of Supergirl. It set a lot of things up and a lot more curiosity and excitement going forward. So that was it. That was my review for Supergirl and Batwoman. Again, we are here post-crisis life, and so far it's turning out pretty good. So thank you for everybody for watching. Leave a comment, like, and or subscribe. Follow me on social media at Red Eyes Blackfire with a Z on Instagram, and Red Eyes Media on Twitter. You know, always, like I said, like the video, hit the notification, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And until next video for DC TV, I'm out this. Yeah.